Hi, my name is Raul Rodriguez and I'm a professional photographer. I've been shooting stock photography since 2009. My stock portfolio consists of 16,000 images and videos ranging from lifestyle to nature to urban cityscapes. I consider myself more of a generalist in the stock field. I decided to create this video because I've gained a tremendous amount of knowledge in the field of stock photography over the past 12 years, and I wanted to share it with you. I made numerous rookie mistakes in the beginning of my stock career simply because I did not have the knowledge, nor did I have the experience to adequately address the challenges. And there were many challenges along the way. Some of my challenges included not knowing what I wanted to shoot, where do I shoot, what agencies do I sign up with to sell my work, and more importantly, why should I even consider shooting stock photography? So this video is my opportunity to share with you what I've learned throughout the years and give you some insights to help you understand what stock photography can offer you, whether you are new to stock or you're a seasoned veteran. These are my top tips to help you become a successful stock photographer. So let's take a look at my first tip. Tip number 1, set goals and expectations. What do you want out of stock photography? What is your end goal? Are you in it primarily for the money, which by the way isn't very much, or are you seeking the satisfaction that people want to buy your images and you have the opportunity to earn a little income in the process? It's a rewarding experience to be recognized for our work, and stock photography is an excellent avenue to receive that recognition. I feel great every time I see one of my images on a billboard, a book, or a magazine cover. I just wish I had been paid more. However, understand that you will not be able to quit your day job. There are obviously exceptions to the rule, and there are numerous stock photographers out there that have made a full-time job out of it. But in general, you need to view the earnings you receive as supplemental income. Set a realistic goal on how much you would like to earn. Perhaps you will use the income to buy new photography gear or save the earnings for a trip so you can take more pics, which I did quite often. Goal setting is very important. Set your sights on what you want and then take the necessary action to accomplish this. In my case, I've been fortunate that my stock income helped me cover my mortgage expense and many other bills. But for a newcomer to stock, that will not be the case, especially in today's commission-cutting environment and huge inventory of available images. Shutterstock, for example, has well over 100 million images and videos. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of data available on stock contributor income trends, but I will share my experience, which I believe is consistent with other seasoned stock contributors. This chart is based solely on my earnings over my career in stock. My revenue per download, or RPD, steadily increased over the first 4 years and then plateaued as I reached some of the top contributor tiers. I then experienced another slight increase in 2017. This year, I've dropped to my lowest level in years due to the Shutterstock commission changes. As a new stock contributor, you will begin with the lowest level commission payout. Each agency is different, but in general, you will get a commission increase as you surpass each contributor level. Some agencies have premium collections that pay higher commissions as well. So how much can you earn in your first year? Assuming a RPD of 40 cents, you would require 250 downloads to earn $100 per month. And how large of a portfolio do you need to earn $100 per month? You will need no less than several hundred images. I estimate at least 500 images or more, depending on the quality of the images. Some contributors have 1,000 to 2,000 images and yet only earn $100 per month. As you can see, stock photography is a numbers game since the RPD is so low. If you expect to earn a high income level, you will need thousands of downloads. What's also important to note is that your income will increase over time as your portfolio grows. However, more images will not necessarily translate to higher income. Of greater importance is that you produce new content that has greater commercial appeal, and that will directly translate to higher earnings. So there's a cumulative effect as you increase the size of your portfolio with higher quality images. It's almost like compound interest. I'll cover the concept of quality later. But you have to understand that sales will take time. If you upload 100 images, don't expect an immediate high volume of sales. It's simply not going to happen. The sales process takes time, so you have to be patient. It's the marathon versus sprint analogy. Stock photography is a marathon race and definitely not a sprint. Another expectation you need to understand is the time commitment that is required to effectively grow a stock portfolio. First of all, there's the actual time required to shoot. For most of us, that's the fun part. Secondly, there's the post-production process that often requires more time than the actual shoot time. Your post-production work will include editing the images and keywording, which is adding the metadata that is critical for your images to be found through the agency's search algorithms. The garbage in, garbage out analogy holds true here. Keywords are extremely important. And lastly, there's the upload process to the agencies. Each agency has a unique upload process. Here you will submit the images individually or in batches. You add the necessary model or property releases and choose image categories if necessary per agency guidelines. By the way, I suggest you upload using a FTP tool such as FileZilla to facilitate the upload process. What all this boils down to is that you need to make a significant investment of your time. Are you willing to make that investment for a potentially small return? In summary, set your goals and expectations up front. Thoroughly understand what you're getting into and you'll minimize the disappointments on the back end. So you've decided you want to take a stab at stock photography. So what type of images are you going to shoot and submit to the agencies? This leads us to my number 2 tip. Tip number 2, generalist versus specialist. Decide what you are going to be as a stock contributor. Are you going to be a generalist and submit all types of photography? Are you going to submit lifestyle, nature, buildings and architecture, travel, portraits, food? You have interiors, abstracts, still life, even editorial. Are you going to choose the buffet line approach and put it all out there and hope buyers want a taste of all your photography? Or do you want to be a specialist with a focused portfolio in a specific niche market? This is a very important question to ask yourself. As for myself, I decided to be a generalist and not place any restrictions whatsoever on what I was going to shoot and upload. This has both helped me, but at times it has hindered my progress as a stock photographer. For example, one of my areas of expertise is commercial and residential real estate photography. I have photographed hundreds of homes and commercial properties. However, I couldn't use these images in my stock portfolio because of licensing restrictions from the brokers and property owners. However, last year I had a commercial assignment for a kitchen designer that wanted to showcase her best kitchen designs. I negotiated the right to use the images in my stock portfolio. The images from those 3 high-end luxury kitchen shoots are now some of my best seller stock images. I may have found a new niche with interiors. The images from this shoot have already been purchased over 2,500 times. I now have a new niche that I can develop and help grow my income potential. Do you need a specialty? If you decide to become a specialist contributor, then thoroughly understand the requirements of your specialty. Let's take lifestyle stock photography as an example. You will need to research current lifestyle stock trends. What's selling out there? And is there a particular photography style that complements the trend? You will need to further evaluate which lifestyle groups you would like to target. We have an aging population of seniors, so they're a very popular group right now. And you have other groups you can target as well. There's families. There's mixed race families, which is super popular right now. Single parents, teens, tweens, infants. Everybody loves cute baby pics. There's business lifestyle. And the LGBT community is currently a huge market for stock. Once you decide which group you want to focus on, you'll then need models that have signed model releases. Where do you get these models that work for free? You don't have to look very far if you have family or friends that are willing to be models. In fact, authentic models are in vogue and sought after and preferable over the supermodel look. Normal is good and preferred these days. You next need to decide what the theme of the shoot will be and where are you going to shoot. Do you want a location shoot or a studio shoot? Most photographers don't have studios, so you may end up using a local park or a home. This all boils down to a huge amount of planning and execution. But more importantly, it forces you to decide the type of stock you would like to shoot and understand your limitations. In summary, do you want to be a specialist or would you like to dabble in all forms of stock and see where it takes you? Perhaps you start off as a specialist and slowly introduce other types of stock to expand your portfolio. My next tip dives into the topic of the characteristics of a successful stock portfolio. What makes a stock portfolio successful? Tip number 3, balance quantity versus quality. You need to strike a balance between the quantity and the quality of your stock images. Is it better to have a large portfolio of 10,000 images? Or is it better to have a smaller portfolio of, let's say, 1,000 unique images? One great stock image will outperform 1,000 average stock images. What is a good quality stock image? First of all, you need to meet all the agency technical requirements. Is your exposure on point? Is your white balance accurate? Is the image sharp? Is the composition on point? If you're shooting video, are you using the 180-degree shutter rule? All of these things need to be considered when shooting and editing your images. However, don't become overwhelmed editing images. I suggest a macro approach versus a micro approach, where editing fine details can become counterproductive, and many buyers don't want over-edited images. My motto is to keep it simple. So once you've mastered all the technical requirements, you submit the image and it doesn't sell. Why hasn't it sold? One of the top reasons for lack of sales is the concept of commercial value. Commercial value is the critical component of a successful stock image. Here's an example of a picture I took of my first year of stock photography. I thought it was a cool looking sign and I loved the colors. The picture has virtually zero commercial value. I believe it has sold maybe 3 times in 12 years. I laugh every time I see this image. Buyers will download your image if it has commercial value. Will the image help sell a product or a service? Will the image help convey a message? Will it add value to the buyer? Commercial value can be a relative term because what is considered commercial in one agency may not be considered commercial in another agency. And there are even inconsistencies within agencies as well, from reviewer to reviewer. I have one excellent example of this. I have a top seller image that was rejected no less than 3 times from Shutterstock. I couldn't understand why it was repeatedly rejected. I thought it was a great stock image. The first rejection was for lack of commercial value. The second rejection was for poor lighting. And the third rejection was again a lack of commercial value. It was demoralizing. However, I didn't give up, and you shouldn't give up on an image you believe can sell and will sell. Each stock agency has numerous reviewers, and the final approval or disapproval may come from merely an opinion. Here's my image that was finally approved after the 4th submittal. This image has been sold almost 4,000 times and is in numerous websites, publications, and print ads. It's beneficial to have a large portfolio, but it's even more advantageous to have a smaller portfolio with quality images that have higher commercial value. One final point on the quantity versus quality debate is the introduction of mobile uploads from cell phones. As agencies loosen their technical requirements, and some have, you are not limited to DSLR or mirrorless camera image captures only. Most agencies are now accepting smartphone images and have created apps to simplify the upload process for smartphone captured images. So if you don't have a camera with you, well, you actually do have a camera in the form of your cell phone that you can use to capture stock images. So let's say you've captured 100 images that you believe are worthy stock candidates. Where should you sell your portfolio? This leads us to my number 4 tip. Tip number 4, upload to top-tier agencies. Pick the right agencies to market your portfolio. Focus on the top-tier agencies and work your way down. Don't start from the bottom up. Top-tier agencies include Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, and iStock Photo. The agencies may have an application process where you're required to submit a handful of your images for review prior to being accepted as a contributor. A side note here is the recent commission reduction by Shutterstock in June that came as a huge surprise to the contributor base. Most contributors will see a significant reduction in commissions. I have personally experienced a 25% income reduction, which is huge if you only contribute to one agency. The moral of this story is to expect the unexpected. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, which leads to the question of exclusivity. Some agencies offer exclusive arrangements where your commission structure is higher, but you're forbidden from submitting your images to other agencies. I know several contributors that are exclusive and they prefer that model. I personally don't recommend exclusivity. Back in 2009, when iStockPhoto was the #1 agency, exclusivity offered a great potential for higher earnings. They subsequently changed their operating model and many contributors left the agency due to a significant decrease in earnings. I prefer to be free of any exclusive contractual arrangement and market my portfolio wherever I want. I want freedom. However, you also have the option to make a subset of your portfolio exclusive to one agency, and you can test exclusivity that way. You also have the ability to submit to middle and lower tier agencies. But I recommend you focus your uploads to the top tier agencies first. Top tier agencies will generate approximately 80 to 90% of your total income. The moral of the story here is that the lower tier agencies will not generate significant income and could be a waste of your time. However, an agency like Pond 5, which is considered a middle tier agency, might be a good option to submit videos, since Pond 5 specifically caters to the video marketplace and you can set your own prices. In summary, focus your portfolio to the top tier agencies and then gradually test the waters in some of the smaller agencies. Okay, so you are now a contributor to one or more agencies. What's your upload strategy? This leads to my number 5 tip. Tip number 5, schedule the timing and frequency of your uploads. As a contributor, you need to understand the cycle of buyers. Here's a simple question. Why do buyers buy when they buy? Let me repeat. Why do buyers buy when they buy? Many buyers only purchase stock images in preparation for the launch of a marketing campaign. These campaigns can further be influenced by seasonality. For example, let's say you just shot some great pics of a family gathered around a Christmas tree with a bunch of wrapped presents surrounding the tree. The images have all the perfect elements of a family lifestyle portrait. You captured these images in the mid-December timeframe. You upload the images and you only sell a handful. Perhaps none of them sold. What happened in this scenario? Simply put, your timing was off. Buyers requiring holiday-themed images will purchase those images in the late summer or early fall in preparation for their marketing campaigns that will launch in the fall. It's probably best to hold on to those images until the next holiday season and submit them much earlier. Timing is essential if you want to make an impact with your fresh images. So what's the moral of the story here? Learn to differentiate between seasonally influenced images and images that are not affected by seasonality. Those images can be submitted any time of the year. The next item to consider is the frequency of your uploads. How often should you upload? If you have a large inventory of images available, then I recommend you upload on a weekly basis. The more often you upload, the more exposure your fresh images will receive. Your older images will also be viewed if a buyer looks at your portfolio. Another question to consider is, should you upload the same images to multiple agencies at the same time? My opinion is sure. Why not? Some buyers might only be purchasing from a single agency if they have a subscription service. On-demand buyers may research several agencies for images. Your content needs to be viewed, so get it out to all your agencies. However, you could follow a strategy to only submit a portion of your images from a shoot over a period of time. For example, you may have a series of fresh landscape shots from different angles and perspectives. Instead of submitting them all at once, break the shoot into batches and submit them over a period of time. I have found this strategy to be very effective. It also builds up your inventory of available images for future uploads, so you will have a consistent upload process. However, this can get time-consuming and you need an excellent image catalog process. I use Adobe Lightroom to help me with the cataloging and inventory of approved images. I'm considering creating a separate video on this topic. In summary, you should thoroughly understand how the timing and frequency of your uploads can and will impact your portfolio and, more importantly, your income growth. My last tip covers you, the content creator, and is applicable to new or seasoned stock contributors. Tip number 6, grow with your stock portfolio. As your portfolio grows, you might start to feel that your income growth has become stagnant. You continue to add images to the portfolio, but why are you earning the same income or perhaps even less? As I stated earlier, the stock process takes time and your portfolio needs time to reach the buyers. Your portfolio also goes through a maturation process. Your portfolio starts as an infant requiring lots of care and feeding. It then slowly matures and becomes more independent. When your portfolio enters its senior years, it just starts to feel old and unwanted, like me right now. Avoid the stagnant senior phase and evolve your content creation skills. Examine the bestseller pages of the agencies. Are you missing content that you know you can create? Perhaps you can put your own spin on an old concept. Simultaneously, look at new stock trends. Examine print ads and TV commercials. Gain new insights from these sources of information and use them in new shoots. Turn on the television after this video and check out a couple of commercials. I guarantee that you will get some ideas for a shoot. We all know that COVID has turned our world upside down. So use your creativity to capture the new normal. And what's the new normal? Well, have you seen all the people walking around in public wearing masks? We have children that are now being homeschooled. Work from home is now acceptable and preferred by many employers. All of these new things in our society are now potential opportunities for stock content creation. Take advantage of the changes and use them to your advantage. You also have the opportunity to master and improve your photography skills. Take online training classes. If you have little experience with off-camera flash, then set a goal to master those techniques. There's a treasure trove of free tutorials available on YouTube. Take advantage of it and set a goal to view at least one tutorial per week. The bottom line is that if you want your stock portfolio to evolve and grow, you need to start by evolving and improving yourself. So those are my top tips to help you with your stock photography. There's plenty more I can talk about, so feel free to add some comments or questions concerning this topic. I hope this video has been helpful, and if you like it, please press that like button. I also encourage you to subscribe to my channel to give me the motivation to make more of these instructional videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Oh, by the way, here are a few of my favorite images from my stock portfolio.
Say what's wrong or right. No. It's not hard to fool me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to